Okay, so this is part 2 of why piracy is wrong. And, something else that I don't believe some people consider or think about when in the act of piracy is having to do with physical media versus digital media. Now, for example, when, say, you go to the Pirate Bay or wherever torrent website you go to illegally download your content, and you push the download button, it goes to BitTorrent or uTorrent, it's starting to download, and you finally think, I've got it. But do you? For example, this is Captain America. This is a movie that I bought. Now, I won't tell you how much I bought it for. I'll save that for another video. But the point is that this is a physical object. This is something that I can touch, I can see, I can hold in my own 2 hands, right? I have it. I can honestly say, and truthfully say, and factually say, I've got it. I've got it in my hands. It's something I can see, I can look at. It's got the disc inside. It's there. I own it. And not only that, but I can also say that I worked and I paid with my own money that I earned to buy this Captain America movie. I can say that. Now my point is that the person that illegally downloads movies and songs, they cannot say that they have it. They digitally have it, but not physically. They don't really own it, is my point. They don't really own that file because it's in the digital realm. For example, maybe to make this a little bit easier to understand, is there's many negative points when it comes to purchasing or illegally getting things for free digitally. First of all, it's not physical, so you don't actually own it. You can't actually hold it in your hand. Second of all, digital media, digital content typically has no sell value, which means that you pretty much can't sell it. If you buy, say, Captain America off iTunes, you can't sell that. And in fact, there's some laws, and I think it may even be illegal to actually even try to do that. So the benefit of actually having the physical thing is that you can actually sell it. There's a sell value to it. On digital content, more than likely, there isn't any resell value. So keep that in mind, that I actually have something physical here that I could later sell and make some amount of money. Granted, I'm probably not going to make a whole lot, but if it's a rare movie, say like one of the Godzilla movies, it's not in circulation that much more anymore, so you can find them on eBay for selling for maybe $35-40. So there's benefits of having physical media, which you aren't going to get digitally. And plus, it's nice to have the artwork and all of the different things. You can't get that digitally either. It's not like something that you can display, and show off your nice collection. That's rewarding in and of itself, is to actually have something physical object that you can set, that you can display. Kind of like, imagine if you had a museum and the museum was totally digital. I mean, what's the point of that? Most people go to a museum in order to see physical things from around the world, to enjoy them, to appreciate their value, to appreciate the physicalness of them. You don't get that in the digital world. We don't have digital museums and digital all these different things. but people appreciate things that are actually have a physical nature to them. And that makes us unique because we're living in the real physical world. We aren't living in a digital, virtual reality, although some people want it to be a virtual reality. And one good movie actually about that all would be like Surrogates, which is another whole thing. But anyways, I guess my point being is that, there's so many benefits of actually owning and having the physical object itself versus just say some digital music or whatever. I've read, a CD or a vinyl, a record has much better sound quality than a digital version of it, simply for the fact that when they turn it digital, they have to compress it and it loses its quality, it loses its its value, more or less, because you can just create an infinite amount of them. And that's the other thing, is that digital content, digital music, songs, digital movies, it's of infinite value because you can infinitely copy them, copy and paste. So the more that you have, the less value it is. That's why antiques are worth so much money, because they're not in circulation, because they, you can't just so easily copy and paste them in the physical world, in the physical realm, if you want to call it that. So in one sense, things in the digital world aren't really worth a whole lot. So why, collect them? It's kind of pointless. So from a collector's point of view, it's better to have the actual physical object in your hand. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that, and this doesn't really have anything to do with piracy, but rather the legal way of getting movies and songs. So people that are buying songs off iTunes, people that are buying movies off iTunes. And I'm not just picking on iTunes, but any provider out there, say Vudu, that offers movies. You can buy them, Amazon, Instant Video. The problem here with purchasing all of these things online and digital, so you're basically taking your money, you're buying these things, but you actually can't hold them. You actually don't own them. You can't sell them. And not only that, but they also require you to have an internet connection in order to view them. Well, what happens if you don't have enough money for your internet connection? They shut that off. Goodbye movies. You can't watch them now because you put all your movie into the collection online. Bad idea. That's also how they can hook consumers into getting an internet connection, so they're shelling out more money. The other problem is that, say, one of those companies goes out of business. All of that money that you put in to buy all those movies, bye-bye. Unless they have some type of, an insurance policy on them so that you can be guaranteed that you'll be able to keep those movies. But then again, the other bigger question to be raised is, well, what happens if, there's a gigantic solar flare and we go off the grid and we don't have any power or electricity? Well, at least you still have the physical object. Maybe you have a generator. You can watch it then. But if you don't have an electricity, you might as well forget about the internet, because it's obviously not going to be accessible to everyone. But if you have a generator in your house, you definitely could still watch your movie. And not only that, but the physical object is still going to be here. It's not going to be lost out in the digital world because we lost electricity. So you actually have something that is of value that you put your money into that actually means something. So I hope I've made some really good death blows to the digital world. And it's not to say you can't enjoy the digital world, but take it for what it is. Look at it for what it really is. And, the Bible says to be a good steward of your money. God wants us to be good stewards of our money. And frankly, I don't see the point in putting and shelling out all my money into digital stuff when I can't actually hold it with my own two hands. And of course, of all the other reasons that I've previously given in this video. So the bottom line is, when I go or I purchase something, you know, with my money, and I buy a movie, I can actually say I own this now. You know, if I want to trash it, I can trash it. If I want to sell it, I can sell it. If I want to give it away to a friend for free, I can give it away to a friend for free. I don't have any limitations of what I can now do to this disc. The only thing that I can't do is I can't just copy the disc and then give it to somebody else because of copyright infringement. But that's alright, because I wouldn't do that anyways. You know, I bought this movie for myself, and if I want to give it away as a gift, I will. So that's really what it comes down to. I mean, now granted, people definitely, obviously, they can download a file and then burn it onto a disc. Of course, you can do it that, but I was speaking strictly in the sense of, you know, the digital world only. You know, where you have these now people just, you know, buying all their movies online and saved into, say, the Amazon account or the Vudu account or what have you, or the iTunes account. You know, that's risky business, and I, for one, like to put my money into something that I can actually hold, that I know has some value, that I know that I can sell, give away, you know, and I can do what I want with it. And I can make a backup for myself. So, just remember that when you're buying all this digital stuff or you're illegally downloading it, you don't actually own it. And not only do you not actually own it, but you've actually taken it that you otherwise would have had to pay for, so you're not doing it fairly and rightly. And so that should leave you with a sense of bankruptcy in your own personal life. You should feel worthless, and you shouldn't feel like you've accomplished a goal. And I would strongly encourage that if anybody actually does feel like that, then it just means that you're being convicted of it. You know that it's wrong. Everybody knows that stealing is wrong. And people can try to justify it all the way they want. But you should feel bad when you do bad things. And that should cause you to do the right thing. So with that, I think I made my points pretty clear. And if you like this video, please like, favorite, and subscribe. And I'm pretty sure that nobody else has talked about any of these things before. So stay physical, because that's what's real.